episode 190 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary, with Kristen.
And Catherine, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for our... wow. Join us for our virtual book club where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
You can't do that. When I'm taking a sip of coffee, you can't make a mistake, because then I'll spit it out and it'll be like one of those spit takes everywhere.
Well, it's bad, too, because, like, so 170 processing.
Oh, my God.
I've done that 95 times because we're on the 190th episode. How did I make a mistake? But yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, mistakes are okay.
Mistakes are okay. They are. That's true. Good point. Yeah. I read it every time. You'd think I'd have it memorized by now. It's not that long, but I literally read it every time. Anyway, not the point. So today we figured we would talk about mugs because we are, you can't, because I don't know about you, but in fall, I often have a mug, whether it's coffee, tea,
Only
whatever.
in the fall?
Yeah, but in the fall, like, as my all the time drink, like, I always have coffee every morning.
Yes.
But in the fall, I'll have, like, tea most days. Whereas in the summer, I don't do that.
Tea when? In the afternoons?
Yeah.
Not more coffee?
Well, it depends. If I finish it all in the morning. I just make one pot for the day. I'm trying not to keep myself awake.
It still affects you that way?
I'm not really sure. Because I still, like... I could still drink espresso and go to sleep. Like, we do that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I drink coffee all day, every day, no matter the weather. Like, we have a heat wave, and I'm still sipping my hot coffee outside while I read a book.
Yeah, no, I prefer hot coffee if I'm at home. But I just find it's never strong enough if I go out, so... I do get iced. But, yeah, not the point. We're talking about mugs. And our favorite mugs, what we like about them, what we look for in them, what you think about mugs. Do you care?
Okay, so I obviously care about mugs. And it's really weird as to why I care about mugs. Because, like, you would think, it's just a receptacle that you drink out of. What difference does it make? And that's valid. However... And I don't know how you feel about this, but, like, do you have, like, a dishware set at home that you purchase, like,
No,
all
really.
of your plates match and your bowls match and, like, you don't have a set like that?
No. I inherited my plates from Amanda when her and Bernard moved in together. And then when me and Jeff moved in together... we kind of threw all of our dishes together and we just kind of have, like, they're just all white mostly. So we were just lucked out that they were the same color. But we don't have any mugs or anything that are...
Right. So...
from a set.
So I don't know if it was when Sid and I moved in together or whether it was when we bought our new house or what. But at some point, my mom gave us dishware set. My mom is very particular about... having dishwares that match and everything like that. So
yeah, it is a big thing for like my parents too. They have like a Christmas set that they put out for Christmas and like
yeah, no, I do think it is a big deal for sort of maybe that generation of people. I don't really care as much. But, you know, I have my set of 12 dinner plates, my set of 12 like lunch plates, and then I've got a set of 12 bowls that match, and then I also have a set of mugs that match that. So I've got a whole set. However, I never, ever, ever use those mugs. Because they have zero personality. But Sid keeps... Because they're just white. And Sid keeps asking, can we please just, like, put them away? Like, give them away? Like, do something with them? Because my mug collection is
it's too large.
a little outrageous. Like, so much so we don't even have space in our cupboard for all the mugs. I have to put some of them in a different location. But I can't bring myself to give away a part of the set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, like, what if in 10 years' time I suddenly start caring about having a matching set? What if I suddenly decide I want to throw dinner parties and have a matching and have everything match? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, like, I could. So I can't give them away. In saying that, I'm not allowed to have any more mugs because we don't have the space. But, like, it's an affliction. I just want to keep getting more and more mugs.
Yeah.
And, like, so much so that my 11-year-old has now decided that she almost drinks exclusively out of mugs. Even water. She's like, she doesn't use a cup. She uses a mug.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah. My niece and nephews did that they went through a stage of just mugs. Especially since, like, their parents don't drink coffee or tea.
Yeah.
So they don't have, they basically have the same, like, the standard mugs that come with, and they're too skinny, they're too tall. Yeah. I don't like them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they'd come over to my house and be like, shit, look at all these mugs. Cause like, we just have a full cupboard of fun mugs because that's what we bought, what we end up with. And like, you just accumulate so many mugs. And I don't know about you, but I use 2 mugs.
You only use 2 different ones?
If I pick it myself, and if one's dirty, I'll pick the other one. But I have 2 like favorite mugs in there. And if Jeff gets my coffee, he could grab anything. He doesn't care. He just grabs whatever like his hand is on. And then I end up with like, I love this mug. It's super cute. It's got my cat on it, but it's too small.
Yeah. But like, I also feel like there's a sweet spot between too small and too big. Like, we made those mugs did we make them at the Akatar paint night?
Yeah.
So there was an Akatar paint night at our local, like, clay cafe, like, thing. So we went and did mugs. And the mugs are gigantic. Mm-hmm. And I love mine. But I find if I fill it all the way to the top with coffee, like, or a hot beverage, it gets cold, like, and there's still so much left. Like, I can't...
Yeah, but that's my favorite.
I don't drink it inside. What do you mean? It's your favorite to have a cold drink in a hot...
No, I fucking hate cold coffee, and I will not put it in the microwave. But it's my favorite to fill that mug up, drink half of it at the perfect temperature, go refill it, and then it's the perfect temperature immediately because it's not too hot because it's got, like, colder coffee in it, and you add hot, so then it's not burning your face off. That mug is my absolute favorite, and I use it all the time. It's like the only mug I use.
Yeah,
But if that one is dirty...
Yeah, what do you do?
But also, my mugs are never really dirty because I drink black coffee. So, like, I'll just rinse it out, right? Yeah. I do wash them every now and then, but most of the time
every now and then.
Yeah. But if it's not that one, I have a candy corn one. I'll use that one because it's big. Oh. Just love a big mug. And I cannot lie. So what is your favorite kind of mug? Or do you go like, are you more aesthetic or like what?
I don't know actually, because like, I don't even really know. I just like, it's all depends on what I'm in the mood for. I do love a snazzy, like a funny saying on a mug.
Yeah.
Like, I've got like my coffee teacher mug. I've got, it says coffee because teaching is hard.
I love it.
And then what else? I have another one that says like French teachers eat pain for breakfast. Because pain is bread in French. So
I love it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
That one's really good.
So yeah, so like, I don't know. I feel like it varies depending on what sort of state of mood I'm in. But I do, like, I like both. I love an aesthetic. I really like booky-themed ones. Mm-hmm. There's one that I keep seeing online, and I feel like it must be AI generated, but, like, they're there for sale, but I would never buy it for myself. But, like, it's one of those ones where it's like a stack of books, but it's a mug.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those look really cool.
Yeah.
I would be all over that.
Yeah, you almost need to see some things, because, like... I'm always wary of buying things from certain websites.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not going to be like that.
No.
That's why, like, mugs I will normally buy from a store instead of online.
Yeah, I just want them all.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, so yeah, so like I really love a good, like, a nice looking mug, but then every once in a while I want a funny saying on my mug.
Yeah.
Like, I have another one that says, it's a Hocus Pocus one.
Mm-hmm.
And says, I need coffee to focus.
That's good.
Yeah. So they're funny.
I love it.
Anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. Those are our thoughts on mugs.
I know.
Who knew? We'd have so many thoughts on mugs.
I mean, it's a controversial topic because, again, my husband doesn't see the point, and he wishes we could get rid of some, but I can't.
I did get rid of some semi-recently.
Did you?
Just ones I don't care about. Or ones that people have, like, just, like, passed down because they don't want them anymore, and they're like, you like mugs? And then I'm like, yeah, but this one doesn't really speak to me. So I got rid of a few like that. Well, to be fair, I put them in my garage for approximately 2 years. And then I finally, when I looked at the pile, I was like, shit, I should actually get rid of these. But yeah, I had them out there for ages. Oh, I do have one mug that is just, God, I think I won it at a swimming thing, so I must have been young. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it says it's like the live, laugh, love one. But it's huge, and it's like annoying big. So that one I was like, I'm getting rid of this. And Jeff was like, no, I like that mug. And I'm like, God damn it. We can't do anything.
It's like, why can't we do this?
Yeah, we both can't decide.
I love that for the two of you.
Yeah. Well, we just have like a full cupboard that is just mugs now. And it's like, that's how it's going to have to be.
Yeah. That's how we live our life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's enough mug talk. So I guess we'll just get into it. Just a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone at all. And things...
What?
They getting spicy? No.
I don't remember exactly where it ends.
I don't think they get spicy.
They start...
They do get a little spicy.
A tiny bit spicy.
Little bit of spicy. Okay, so we are reading week 3 of... Or we're reading week 3. Yeah.
I was going to go with it. You called yourself out.
We are reading When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. And this is week 3.
That makes more sense.
And we're reading chapters 35 to 50 this week. My issue was that...
So many chapters.
Do I remember what happened last week?
I know. It feels like it's been ages, but it's been
really
like a week
not.
Since we recorded. Yeah. But my brain is just like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah. I guess Raeve gets sentenced to death by the Council of Lords, or whatever you want to call them. She was a big old brat to them, which we appreciated.
Loved it.
Then when she went to actually die by dragon num-nums, she instead gets picked up by a saber scythe dragon and stays in its mouth for a while, and then gets put down, and she realizes that she's been saved.
Yay.
By King Kong. His name is King Khan. Didn't realize that. Anyway, so he saves her, and he ties her up, and he's like, I'm taking you back to my hometown. And, like, that's really all that happens.
Yeah.
And so, I guess, right where we left off last week is he has taken her to his mother's house that she used to get away from everything. It's like a small little cottage. It's nothing extravagant, and it's like just a little cottage in the woods. Mm-hmm. And he's left her upstairs in the room, and he said, be warned, if you try and escape, you gotta get past me, and I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch. But again, she's all tied up, so I don't think he actually expects her to try and escape, or
try that. Yeah,
I don't know. So he leaves her upstairs in the room. And once she's alone, she uses a dragon scale that she managed to find just lying around at a river where they, like, clean themselves off, which is wild because apparently the dragon scales are very hard to come by. And she just happened to find one.
She assumes it's from his dragon, though, which I guess makes some sense, but it's still like, what?
Yeah. So apparently it's, like, super sharp. She uses it to cut her rope bindings off. But she still does have the iron cuffs on. I think she still has one on an arm and one on a leg.
Yeah, I think so.
So she cuts her bindings, but she does accidentally cut herself. So she uses a strip of her t-shirt to bind it. She finds some clothes in the drawers to change, and then she climbs in the bed and waits for Khan to, like, she assumes fall asleep. And she just keeps thinking about how she needs to escape because she needs to get a revenge on Rex Zeros. Like, it's literally the only thing in her mind right now. Mm-hmm. So she waits and waits and waits, and she finally goes downstairs and sees Khan is sleeping naked on the couch. And I'm like, no, does he not have, like a blanket? Is he just,
not even a stitch of clothing?
Like, is he just, like, full-on nude on the couch? Like, woo!
Was that his plan? He's like, I can fall asleep because I'll distract her with my body if she tries to escape.
Maybe.
It's like, it works. I don't blame him for it, but, like...
Yep.
It's a wild plan.
Yeah, so, like, she's staring at him. And she thinks that, like, she does want him. And maybe he is a good guy because, like, he's helped her. He hasn't done anything to prove that, like, he wants anything from her. Except for her. Like, I don't know if it was this moment, but she does at some moment have a thought of, maybe he doesn't want anything from me. Maybe he just wants me. But then she's like, that's equally as bad.
Yeah.
Because she's too broken. And she thinks that she's destined to have a life alone. Because she has this fucked up view that anybody who gets close to her will die.
Yeah, which... I don't feel like we can blame her for.
No. So she is almost out the back door when she does remember that he threatened to hunt her down.
And he sounded like he'd enjoy it.
And I'm like, yes, okay, let's go.
I'd read that.
I would. So she's like, she knows that the only way to stop him from hunting her down is by killing him. But she doesn't want to. And she thinks that, like, that's a new feeling for her because normally killing is really easy for her. Mm-hmm. So in order for her to, like work herself up to it, she's like, okay, I have to, like, think about all these rumors that say he's a terrible person and that he's done all these terrible things. And she also knows that, like, the brother that sentenced her to die was named Kadok or Kadok or whatever. He's an absolutely shit human being. So she's like, the world will be better off with one less beggar king, essentially.
Yeah.
So she puts her emotions that she feels, like, across her frozen lake to dump them. And then she sees something luminous soaring under the ice in the water, and it's following her. And, like, again, I really wonder, like, is this a metaphorical, like, what is this? Like, is it just a metaphorical thing? Like, I'm so, not confused by it, but I'm so perplexed, I guess.
Yeah.
I just don't, like, I understand what it is, but I also don't understand what it is. Like, is it a metaphorical thing? Is it a literal thing? Like, does she literally have a part of her mind that she can just drop stuff off? And it, like, is it a part of her mind that's been closed off? Or is it just, like, a metaphorical, I'm gonna put my feelings away now so that I can get the job done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is kind of like, we talked about it a bit last week, because we're like, clearly she has some kind of mental block where she's not remembering shit. Like, is that the lake? Or did someone put a spell on her? Like,
yeah. Anyway, so she drops her emotional stuff in the lake, in the ice, and the luminous thing then chases it. And that's, like, new. It's never done that before. And at this moment, I was like, okay, so this is obviously the other. And the other is her Dagamork. Because remember last time I thought that the dragon in the sky, that her favorite moon, I thought that that was going to be her Dagamork. But now I don't think so. Now I think that at this moment of reading, I thought that the luminous thing under the water is her Dagamork other. And that, like, it's the essence of a dragon that when she lets out, because it felt very much like protective of her, but also like devoid of emotion when the other took over.
Yeah, and it was like talking about how small her body is, which could be like, oh, she's just a woman, or it could be she's used to a fucking dragon body.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I like that.
And so so I said it was a Dagamork, and I said it is the dragon in the sky. So, like, I feel like it's a dragon that is like a moon.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
I like it.
So she goes over to him and gets on top of him, and I'm like, you don't need to get on top of him in order to slash his throat with a dragon scale. You could very easily just loom over him and stand. You don't need to climb on top of him. Especially his naked body.
She needs to.
She doesn't need... She wants to. She doesn't need...
That's why he did this.
I guess. So she gets on top of him to slash his throat. And I'm like, also, do you not think he would feel you climbing on top of him?
Well, maybe he thinks it's a dream.
Anyway, so she's gonna what kind of a dream? Ugh.
I'm not saying what kind of dream he's having, but I think he's had it before.
Yeah. Anyway, so he opens his eyes, and their eyes meet, and her frozen lake erupts. Ooh. Which I'm like, again, isn't this the second time her frozen lake has erupted?
Yeah.
So I guess it refreezes after a while?
I guess so.
Anyway, and the feelings she just dropped in there explode back like 10-fold. And she can't kill him, and instead she has a fierce need to kiss him that she doesn't really get. And she just thinks that she wants to reach into her soul and scoop out those emotions. Like, she doesn't want them. Mm-hmm. But he just keeps looking at her, and he tells her that he sees her.
Ugh.
Huh?
I would hate if somebody said, I see you.
Yeah, I guess. It's a bit cringe. So she thinks that, like, the fact that they are touching, like, it just feels really right, and she gets really turned on. And he asks what she needs and calls her Moonbeam. And she just puts his hand down her pants. Yeah. She's like, this. And I'm like, that.
I know. I was like, Kristen, it's happening.
Yeah.
You were like, it's not. Just wait.
Yeah. So Catherine did text me when she got to this part and was like, oh my God, it's already happening. And I was like, what do you mean? And
because she had already read it.
Yeah. And I did not understand what she meant by it's happening. Like, it's getting spicy. And I just did not remember because it doesn't.
It's not.
Yeah. So he asks, he asks if she wants him to touch her, and she says yes, so he does. So he fingers her, and, like, he touches her nipples and tells her to ride his hand and take what she wants. And so, like, her mind drifts and she feels like she's in a dream. And she says it's somewhere that smells like salt, spices, and flowers, where all that matters is them, which I feel like is important later, but I don't really know why.
Yeah. It's gotta be.
So he flips them over, or she tells him she wants him, aka like all of him, aka she wants like them to have sex.
Yeah.
And he flips them over and he pulls her pants off and he's about to like complete the act and we're all like, yes! And he asks, and I will say that I feel like this is I really just wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like this would actually, like, cure a lot of the issues that these two are facing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why, but I just feel like if they do this, it'll bring back a lot of her... Yeah. Because, like, we can sense that there's something going on. And I just feel like this would maybe clear that up for her.
This could be the thing that makes her remember things.
Yes.
The thing that makes her.
Yes. So, like, he, like, asks if she wants this. And he's looking at her with, like, tenderness and emotions. And she's like, yeah, I want you inside me. But, like, you gotta stop looking at me like this means something. Because it doesn't. Like, for her,
which
this
I think
is just
kind
sex.
of fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, she's like, in her brain, she just wants the sex. She's turned on. He's turning her on, so she wants sex. And he's, like, he's all in emotion-wise. Mm-hmm. So, like, I appreciate her making that distinction.
Yeah.
And she is just scared, because she says his emotions are, like, gripping her heart, and she's developing the feels for him, but she doesn't want them. Because, again, she thinks that anybody who gets close to her is going to die. And he asks if she just wants meaningless sex. And she was like, yep. And then he tells her that she will not find that here with him and sends her back up to bed. I know.
Asshole.
I guess I appreciate his boundary as well. But, like...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, if he doesn't think he could have sex with her without being attached to her, then I sort of agree with... Like, I agree with him putting up that boundary and being like, well, I can't have sex with you if you just want it to be meaningless because I don't want it to be meaningless. Yeah. But I also feel like he shouldn't expect her to have feelings for him when they've spent a day together.
Yeah. Like, this is already a lot for her. Like, I agree.
And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, sort of, I think he has memories that she does not have. So maybe he has attachments that she, as of right now, does not have. And I just don't think it's fair to put those on her.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But in saying that, it's just because I want them to have sex.
Yeah. No, I know. And, like, I don't know. I just think, obviously, it's going to push her away, all these things that he's feeling, because she doesn't remember. Yeah. We're assuming. So, like, I'm like, you can't expect her to be okay with you having all these feelings and her not remembering you.
Yeah.
They almost need to have a conversation. Imagine.
Who doesn't love a miscommunication trope? For the record, Catherine hates a miscommunication trope.
Which is just so ironic because I would 100% be in a miscommunication trope in my life. Yeah. Because I
don't talk to people.
No, and I don't know what my feelings are. Like,
valid.
But I hate it in books. I'm like, just talk. And I'm in my own personal life. I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm just gonna curl up in a ball. And everyone should leave me alone.
Yeah. I'm very non-confrontational. I'm just gonna ignore the behavior until it doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, so stupid.
Anyway.
Good times.
Maybe that's why we don't like them in real life, in books, because they mirror our real life too much.
Yeah. Yeah, you make a point.
Anyway, so she runs back up the stairs, and she's just, like, baffled by what just happened. She was, like, super turned on. He was literally, like, about to, like, spear her with his peen. And then he's like, no, thank you. I only want to do it if you have feelings for me.
Yeah.
And, like, this is the part that weirds me out, is a part of her wants to go back down and apologize. And to, like, I don't know if it's just because she's so turned on, if it's, like, remnants of, like, things in her brain that she doesn't remember, but she's, like, debating going downstairs and being like, fuck me with your feelings, it's fine.
Yeah.
But she knows that that's not the smart thing to do, so she abstains.
Which is good.
Yeah. So she does, however, notice a window in the room and decides to crawl through it. And I'm like, how did you not see the window before?
Yeah. Well, I guess she was like, I'll just go out
the back
past
door.
Him. It's fine.
Yeah, so silly. So she gets out and she climbs down the trellis, and then she's out and there's a storm and she just runs down a jungle path. And she says that it reminds her of a different time that she escaped from somewhere during a storm. But then it was a snowstorm. And she was escaping somewhere of pain, starvation, and suffering. Which is
interesting.
Yes. And now she's escaping pleasure, safety, and belly laughs.
Belly laughs?
Yeah, because they were laughing when she was trying to eat her soup.
Yeah.
So, like, she's escaping for a different reason. Mm-hmm. But I'd be interested to know that previous escape thing. Like, I want to...
Yeah, me too.
I'm interested. And I hope they tell us about it during this book. Like, I really hope we get some answers.
I know, like, we talked about this a lot last week, but, like, this book is in a series of, what is it, 5, 6
5,
books?
I think.
Like, yeah, how much are we really going to get at the end of this book?
Yeah. But it's unfortunate because, like, it is laying quite the groundwork for this big mystery. And, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate, like... We've talked about it a million times. That I appreciate leaving some stuff for the next book. Obviously, you do need to, like, leave something. Because otherwise, what's the point of the next book? However, they're talking in riddles so much and referencing these mysteries. Like, I hope that we get answers in this book. For at least some of them.
We'd almost have to, because it's like...
It's building it up.
I keep talking about... Yeah, and I keep talking about, like, just get tired of having to reread books because the new book is coming out. And it's like, I'd like to just... like, clue up some things. You can leave us on a cliffhanger, sure. But, like, all the important stuff that comes up in this book should kind of clue itself up somewhat. Unless it really is a huge overarch. Like, we're going to find out who she is. Or we better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Anyway, so... she just thinks that, like, this good stuff... because right now she's thinking about escaping pleasure, safety, belly laughs... she's thinking that, like, that sort of a life and that sort of stuff is not meant for her. And she just has to repeat to herself, keep going. Like, she knows she's running away from something good, but thinks that she doesn't deserve good. Yeah. Which is really sad.
Yep.
So she decides to climb down, like, a series of cliffs and follow the river back to the wall. And she also thinks that Khan wouldn't expect her to go that way. So that's why she's sort of climbing down a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets partway down, and there are, like, these ledges that like, big ledges. So, like, she's lands on a ledge, and she sees birds flying up, and she's like, that's weird, birds don't normally fly during a storm. And she's like, well, shit, something is coming.
And I was like, it's Khan and his dragon, obviously. Yeah. Like,
and she knows, shit, Khan and his dragon are coming, and if he catches her, he will never take his eyes off her again. So then she just quickly climbs down the next little bit And then there's an explosion of water, and it hits her, and it rips her from the wall, and then she hits her head, and she goes unconscious. So, like, girl, that's your own fault for trying to climb down a cliff in a storm.
Yeah. Of course no one thought you were going to do it, because it's fucking dumb.
Yeah. So then we get a Elluin diary entry. So apparently they came for her in the night and shot her with a pin, like a iron pin. And she said it was a combination of guards from the Burn, the Fade, and Bothame, which is the neutral city where the Tri-Council meets. So it wasn't her own people.
Yeah, because was it the last week they were like, the Tri-Council is going to decide what to do with you? Did that happen last week? Yeah.
So essentially, they came for her in the night. All these guards, they pinned her, and they told her that they were helping to ward her kingdom until she was joined with the male the Tri-Council has chosen for her. So essentially, because her entire family is gone and she is the only one left, she cannot, I think we discussed last time, she has to wear the crown with the Aether Stone in it, and that will weaken her, and because that weakens her, she needs to marry somebody very powerful, and the Tri-Councilor is going to decide. So they put a veil on her because in the other kingdoms, veils are required. I don't know if it's for everybody or just for, like, prestigious, like, royalty. Yeah. But essentially she's not allowed to go around without a veil on until she's married. And they shackled her, which is wild. But they did let her, like, gather some of her things. And the Tri-Council had decided she is going to marry Tirith Vagar, which is one of King Ostern's 3 sons. And that was the one that wanted her hand when her parents were alive, but her parents refused because she was like, please don't make me marry that guy. He's a creep. And her parents was like, her parents were like, we don't want you to marry that guy. He's a creep. But now the Tri-Council is like, you're going to marry that guy anyway.
Yeah, because all of your family's dead.
Yeah. So, they took her to Dom, which is in the Burn, and her dragon is, like, trailing behind her, wailing, and she admitted that this is where she's going to stay for the next 3 years until she comes of age. And then her betrothed and her will be bound. So she doesn't have to marry him for another 3 years, which is, thank God. She's 18 now, so he has to wait for her to be 21. And that's, like, the only saving grace of this whole thing.
Yeah. Do we know the name of the third king who is... Like, is this the third king?
So,
do you think?
I guess this is Tirith, and then there's Caddick. And then there's Khan.
Yeah, so this is the third one who recently lost his wife.
I believe. I think there's a family tree in the back of the book.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay.
So there's Khan, Vea, Tirith, and Caddick.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't sure if, like, this was, I don't know, before Khan, like, is this Khan's parents, or is this... Yeah.
Yeah, so the family tree has... Although I don't know if you should look at it.
Okay, I will.
Because there's a spoiler. That doesn't bother...
That's probably why it's in the back of the book.
It doesn't bother me, but it would bother you.
Yeah, I'll leave it. Thank you.
So it's got Elluin's parents, Adric and Eudora, and then Elluin and Hadian. And then there's another side of the family tree, and it's got an unnamed female... Oh, no, sorry. It's got Corvina Vagar and Ostern Vagar and their 4 kids, Khan, Vea, Tirith, and Caddick. So, that's without the spoilers.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Tirith is the one that's still mourning his wife, because Caddick is the one ruling the Fade.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they took her to Dom, where she's going to spend the next 3 years. And for now, Tirith, is going to move into her castle and take over ruling the Shade for her. Because she is incapable, apparently.
Yeah,
so, like, they're not even...
Oh, yeah. I guess I could have waited 5 seconds to hear you say that he was going to start ruling the Shade. But I just didn't know if Khan was on the same family line. Like, if that was his brother. But makes sense now.
So they bring her there, and the young queen of the Fade comes into her room and apologizes for her male, Caddick, who had a role in removing her from her kingdom. So the queen seems not awful.
Yeah, and this is the queen that saw her last week.
Potentially, yes.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, we are assuming.
Yeah.
So she lets slip that she regrets letting Caddick into her bed and then conceiving a child that caused them to be bound, which unites the Fade and the Burn. So essentially she is the queen of the Fade and I guess Caddick seduced her and she got pregnant with his child and then they had to marry.
And this is the one, well, I'm assuming it's the same queen, but like in the first week, Raeve was like, the queen is the native queen of the Fade. Yes. So they should give her back power. And then what's her face was like, yeah, but she's not power. She doesn't have a tri-bead, so she can't have power.
Yeah. So it seems like the Vagar family rule the Burn. And they've managed to outsource and take advantage of the queens, the ruling queens, and managed to make themselves now rulers everywhere.
Exactly, yeah. Which kind of answers, because we were wondering about that last week. We were like, what the fuck is going on? How did they all come from the Burn and all rule different places? So we're getting some more information. Mm-hmm.
So, her dragon Slaitra, I don't actually know how to say that, is fighting the Molten Maws outside, and Elluin just prays to Claude that Slaitra will only fight until morning, but then return to their home, because a moon plume can't stand as much sun as exists here. Mm-hmm. And she wouldn't be able to survive if her moon plume turned to stone. But that is something I don't understand, because if she's brought to the Fade's not hot. It's the Burn that's hot.
I thought that,
And I thought
that they were going to bring her to the Burn, though.
Oh, are they?
I think
They're moving her on?
I think so.
Okay. Anyway. So, that's the end of the diary entry. We wake up. Raeve wakes up in a river holding onto a log. And, like, she wants to keep passing out, but some dude is yelling at her from the side in a language that she doesn't understand. So she's like, I'll let go of the log. And that's a terrible idea because she has no energy. So she goes below the surface and starts to drown, and then somebody jumps in after her and saves her. So these two guys are, like, talking to her, and they bring her ashore. They try talking to her in their language, but she doesn't know what they're saying. Mm-hmm. But she sees one of their tattoos and thinks that they look like warriors, so thinks that maybe these are the guys that Khan grew up with. The warriors of the Volcanic Plains. And, like, she knows that these guys are really amazing warriors, but she can't risk going with them. So she's like, I'm just going to jump back in the river. And I'm like, this is a terrible idea because you are going to die.
It's so funny. It's like, I guess I'll just jump back in.
Like, I understand she feels like she has no other answers, but, like, you're just going to kill yourself by jumping back in the river because you have no energy. You just had to get saved. Like, what else are you going to do? But a creature lands on the opposite side of the river. And the guy, like, the creature then jumps across the river, and a guy has to grab her to help get her out of the way. And she said that the creature looks like it could eat all of them. So she's, like, really scared.
Oh, shit.
So she's terrified, and the guys call the creature Kolu. And she knows that word. And she knows that it means fate herder, which is a creature of legend that sort of nudges people in a specific direction. So she's thinking, I wonder which of these two suckers the fate herder is going to herd.
She's so dumb sometimes. I love it. It's my favorite.
But, like, these guys are both on their knees before her. And then the creature keeps putting itself between Raeve and the river. She's, like, trying to edge herself towards the river, and this thing keeps putting her in its path. And then it starts pushing her towards the dudes. And she's telling the herder, she's like, no thank you. I don't want to go there with them. And she's getting frustrated because the fate herder don't care. I say don't care. Doesn't care. And, like, doesn't want to...
He don't care.
I don't care. But, yeah, it doesn't care. And...
Yeah.
It's just not listening. And, like, does it even understand English? We don't... Or, I say English. Does it even understand, like, what language?
The common tongue.
The common tongue, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't know. So she's, like, really frustrated. But she can't go against it without risking death. And I'm like, jumping in the river would have been death too.
Whoa, 100%. You almost just died. Yeah.
So she has to go with these two guys. Because that's what the fate herder wants her to do. So they lead her up a stone staircase. With the creature staying behind her to make sure she doesn't, like, turn and run. And they bring her to what looked to be a dead dragon. But now all that's left is, like, the bones. And it makes, like, a huge... like, opening for a village. So, like, they're essentially, like, living inside, like, the ribs, like, the rib bones of this dragon. It is pretty cool. So it makes, like, this huge archway above their village. So she's walking in, and the guys are screaming, Kolu! Half Koma! And everyone bows. And we don't know what that means, except for Kolu, which is the fate herder. And everyone's bowing. Like, everybody. And they lead her into this dwelling, which turns out to be, like, sort of a throne room. And there's a woman on a throne nursing a baby. And this other guy wearing a bone crown with a cuff similar to Khan's on his wrist. So that's important. So the herder stayed behind her to make sure she didn't escape. And the king announces something to the crowd in a language she doesn't understand, and then talks to the guys that brought her here. So this other woman approaches, and she's got, like, white eyes, so she is one of the unseeing. But we don't know what that means. Hang on. Is it in the book? Is it in the...
glossary?
Yeah, at the beginning. PRSTU... It is not.
Okay.
It is not in the glossary. So that's fun. Anyway. So we don't know what an unseeing is. So she also calls her Kolu. Which, again, I thought Kolu was the name of the... She said the Kolu was the name of the fate herder.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is.
Yes. Confusion.
Yeah. So two guys then come forward and bow at her, and again, like, speak in this weird language. And they bring forward a kolk, which is like a weird... I think it seems like reminiscent of a cow. Because I've read ahead, and, like, they use it to pull carts. They use it as... like a grazing animal in villages, so it just seems like it's sort of a cow, and it's a colk, whatever. That's kind of cow, like CO, right?
Yeah.
So, but it has 6 legs and 6 eyes.
Oh.
So it's like a spider, but it's not. It's like a cow spider.
Spiders have 8 legs.
So they do. My bad. It's like the one defining feature of a spider, and I got it wrong.
Happens.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so the woman, the white-eyed woman slits the Colk's throat, which makes Raeve like sick for the this poor innocent animal. Then the two guys that had come forward, not the two that rescued her, but the two that came forward and bowed to her, are painted in the Colk's blood. And the fate herder is still behind her and still won't let her leave, even though she wants to. And she keeps trying to talk to it and be like, "Let me go!" And it's like, no. So then the women surround her, and one woman tries to calm Raeve down and tells her in the common tongue that it's okay, that she is Kolu. So not the fate herder, it's her.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Everything will be fine. We're just doing this. It's like, that's not okay.
Yeah. So apparently it was foretold that her hair is like the eyes of the Fanica. Hang on. What's a Fanica? A winged, leathery beast with a stumpy neck and big, gloomy eyes. They are less than half the size of an average molten maw and are able to blend with the rust-toned stone in the burn. They can cling to cliffs and ceilings and have bat-like wings. They can be ridden.
Okay.
Oh. Hang on. It doesn't say what their eyes... It says their eyes are big and gloomy. It doesn't say what color they are. Interesting. All right.
Yes.
So, apparently she has hair the color of Fanica eyes. And she came to them on the Blue Ribbon, which is the river. And it was foretold that the fate herder would bring her to them and that her offspring would tie the moons to the sky forever. So they are sort of a little bit of a more, I don't want to say primitive, but superstitious society, I guess. And they don't live in a big city. They sort of live in small villages. They have more brutal customs, but also more traditional hierarchies. Just they are they're different. They don't live the rest of the world does. So essentially they're saying that she is this foretold being whose children are going to make it so that the moons never fall again. Because when a moon, the moon's falling, I think seems to be one of the big fears of the people in this world, right? Is a huge fear is that a moon is going to fall and it's going to decimate a village, a town, a city, whatever, and kill a lot of people. So being able to make sure that a moon never falls again is a big deal. Mm-hmm. So she is not polite, Raeve isn't, when she says, "I'm not Kolu, and I will never have offspring." But they don't really listen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what she wants. She's foretold. Yeah.
So she, they tell her that they're going to have the Tuka trial. So she needs to be cleansed. And she's like, what the hell is a Tuka trial? But whatever. Mm-hmm. So she does, though, let them clean her up. But she also doesn't really understand what's happening. And she feels like her freedom is always just out of reach. So, she had a chance at freedom, and now it's being taken away again.
Sorry.
Wow. So they all head to their version of the Colosseum, which is a big crater formed by a moon that fell. It was a saber scythe named Orva. So it fell, made this big crater. Now they're using it like a Colosseum.
Fun.
Yeah. And Raeve, it seems there's a whole bunch of weapons and animal remains or human remains or something, and she realizes that this is a fighting ring, and she's like, oh my god, do I have to fight for my freedom?
She's like, I'll do it.
She's not excited, but like she's low-key like, yes, let me at him.
Yeah.
So the one that speaks to her that has helped clean her up and stuff is named Seiza. Seiza?
Girl. Don't know.
And she asks if she wants to honor Orva, and she does. So she then tells her that Orva didn't fall apart on impact, and it took them ages to roll the dragon moon to the side of the crater. So she does go lay a flower to honor Orva because it's just there. Like, it's this big stone former dragon just hanging out on the side. But, like, he is small. And she knows that he was super young, so, like, we're getting a little bit of lore here. Like, a little bit of, like, world building, if you will. So she says this guy was super young when he, I guess, chose to die. So she knows that not all dragons make the choice to go into the sky, and that some are victims of their society and then are later mined and used by people. So she finds that really sad that dragons have essentially become like a commodity in their society. Like, dragon bloodstone is used as a currency in the Fade, where she's from. So, you know, she just finds it sad that they're being used and abused in that manner. So, Raeve is brought up to, like, a dais to sit. She is not fighting. So, yeah, it is a boo. So she still doesn't really understand what's happening. So the two guys who are coated in blood, in the Kolk blood, bring her their tokens. One guy brings her a pendant with a serpent on it, and the other brings her a diadem that has a fawny claw on it. And Seiza tells her she has to accept she calls them Malmers, and lay them in front of her, which she does. And then they start to fight each other. And Raeve can tell that they are fighting to kill. And she asks Seiza, like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And Seiza clarifies that they are fighting for her. For the honor of being bound to her and creating life with her. Ugh. Which is like, oh, thank you for telling me in advance.
Yeah.
So, one of the guys, Hawk, he's the one with the serpent pendant. He wins. And he hacked the other guy's head off. So he is the champion, and Seiza says she's really lucky because Hawk is their best fighter besides the king. So he just presents her with the other guy's head, and she's like, no, this is so wrong, incredibly wrong. And she just, like, bursts up and says, no, I will fight for myself.
I love it.
And she refuses to accept his Malmer no matter what. And apparently, I guess, accepting the Malmer and her wearing it has extreme significance. And, like, just, I think it indicates, like, yo, I'm taken, buddy.
Yeah, I think
so. Too. She refuses to accept his. And the king and queen talk about it. And the queen, who turns out can speak the common tongue, but has chosen not to, and also can speak to Claude, they agree that as long as the fate herder does not prevent her from getting in the ring, they will allow it.
Yeah, because I was really like, what the fuck is the point of this? Like, what is the fate herder trying to do here?
It's definitely, because the fate herder is still there, and it's just, like, lying down on the ground, like, sleeping almost like a dog. And it's just hanging out there.
Which is cute, but I'm also like, why did you bring her here?
Well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Seiza paints those blood patterns on Raeve, and Hawk is, like, pissed. Because he won.
He won her fair and square.
He won. He shouldn't have to fight her now. Like, he won her.
Gross.
And the fate herder is, like, turning invisible, indicating that, like, its job is almost done, I think. So, like, I think once it has done what it needs to do, and what has happened to her needs to happen, I think it goes away. Mm-hmm. And Seiza just doesn't understand and asks, like, do you not like the male that won for you? But Raeve is like, I don't choose him, though. But
Also, she doesn't fucking know him.
But Seiza's...
What do you mean?
Seiza's like, oh, but he's, like, so accomplished, and, like, lists off all of his accomplishments on, like, his warriorness.
Yeah.
And, like, she's like, you are Kolu. Like, your offspring will keep the moons in the sky and bring peace. And, like, don't you want a strong sire for that? But, I know, Wild. But Rave's like, I don't want him. I don't want that title. And I don't want anything, like, that you're offering. And essentially, I'm going to do what I want with my body.
Yep.
So, Seiza sort of, like, understands that, like, they hold different values. Because, again, for Seiza, this is, like, having a really accomplished male warrior as your sire is, like, a great accomplishment of your own, I guess. And having, mm-hmm. like, two really crazy warriors, like, fight over you is, it's something to be revered and something to be,
something people hope for.
So, but she understands that maybe Raeve has different values than their clan and doesn't push it anymore. But she does say that their clan, the Jokul, are pretty fantastic warriors, and, like, all Hawk has to do is get you to submit to win. Because obviously he doesn't want to hurt her. He doesn't want to hurt his prize. Ugh. So, like, he's not...
Because she's got to have his babies.
So he doesn't want to, like, maim her or hurt her in any way. But he just has to get her to, like, be like, okay, you win. But she has to kill him to win. So, a little bit unfair, but whatever.
Yeah.
So the battle starts, and the Fate Herder does indeed let her start to fight. So, like, it wants her to take that step. Mm-hmm. And she thinks, like, oh, this is what it wanted from me all along, back in the ring, spilling blood, just like I'm good at. Right? Mm-hmm. And they circle each other for a little bit, and she waits on purpose for him to make the first move. And, I guess he moves, and she, like, pivots out of the way, sort of like, the dance fighting. And she manages to strike into his abdomen. She's fighting with an axe. He's fighting with a blunt club, because he doesn't want to hurt her. I know. So,
but yeah, I guess for sure.
So she, like, manages to slice into his abdomen, but, like, obviously it doesn't kill him It doesn't kill him. And, like, she can tell that he is furious that she got the first strike on him. Then she flicks sand in his eyes, which distracts him enough that she can jump on top of his back and put her axe around his neck. And, like, she's gonna try and decapitate him. And she does get a shallow cut in his neck before he throws her off and she rolls away. And then he puts his hand into his pocket, and Raeve attacks him again, but he pulls something out of his pocket, it's like a little snake, and he throws it at her, and it lands and bites her on the chest, just as she slices through his thigh. And she just pulls the snake off and onto the ground, and immediately starts to get dizzy. And she realizes that the snake had venom. Of course, and envenomated her. So then she gets another dizzy spell, and Hawk hits her with his club in the shoulder. And, like, she keeps feeling the earth tilt, and she's super pissed that he was dishonorable. Mm-hmm. And, like, resorted to essentially cheating because he didn't want to lose to a woman.
Yeah. But then, like, what is he thinking? Because, like, if he wins this way, she's just gonna kill him in his sleep.
Yeah, but I don't...
You know what
I see what you're saying, but I don't think that he even thinks that that'll happen. I think he assumes that if he wins this fight, she'll just submit to him.
But he cheated.
I know, but I feel like they're in a society that, like, values honor, but, like, even though he cheated, but, like, this is, like, a sacred ritual trial for them. So I feel like for I feel like in his brain, he's not thinking about what's going to happen after he wins. He's just thinking, I'm going to win and she's going to be mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think that he also killed the other guy by cheating?
Who knows? I didn't think so, but anything could happen.
Yeah.
But, like,
I just wonder.
He's
like,
apparently the second best warrior in the village. So, like, either he is the second best warrior because he keeps cheating, or he's just the second best warrior and doesn't need to cheat.
Yeah. Because I do wonder, like, I thought that they didn't like that he cheated. I don't really remember now.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah. I'm like, he's not thinking ahead, and he's not, like, using his brain at all. Because obviously, she's not going to take this win legally.
No, she's not. But,
yeah.
What else would we expect?
Yeah.
So, she knows that, like, if the venom is already starting to, like, affect her, she has to end this fight really quickly before it incapacitates her completely.
I really thought that she was just going to win.
I know. So she lunges for him, and he goes for her too. And she manages to, like, jump on top of his back again. And she's got a leather ribbon to start, like, choking him. And he tries to get her off of his back, but she is choking him and she is winning. And she's using all of her strength. And he does pass out. And he falls to the ground and she goes to get her axe that she had dropped.
To chop his head off.
But she gets double vision and, like, she goes to grab the axe, but it's not there.
Mm.
And then she sees, the axe is to her right. And she goes for that. But before she can reach it, she's struck in the head. And she is super confused because she's like, did I not strangle him for long enough? And, like, she knows she needs to get up, but she's still seeing double. So I'm wondering, like, was she hallucinating that entire time? Like, was she not on top of him, choking him out at all?
Oh, I thought that he just faked it.
Oh, maybe. We don't know. So she's still seeing double, and she manages to stand up, but, like, the world is tilting, and she's stumbling. And he yells at her to gide, which she assumes that it means submit. But she just says, fuck you. So then he punches her to the ground. And he crawls on top of her and again yells at her to gide, submit. And she shoves her hand into, like, his leg wound. But that just makes him more angry. And then he, like, grabs her hands and holds her wrists above her head. And he slaps her. And says, gide again. And she's like, no, I won't. And she thinks that she would rather die than be tied to this guy. And she thinks that because she will never submit, she thinks that the fate brought her here to die. That this was her fate, to just die. So Hawk keeps yelling at her to submit, but she won't, and tells him again, fuck you. And then she starts laughing at the ridiculousness of her life.
I love Unhinged.
Yeah.
I love
Which
it
is
so
where
much.
she's at, right? Because she's like, my life is so awful. Like they just keep beating me down, and I, like, this is what it is.
Literally out of the frying pan into the fire situation.
So he is going to hit her again, but then, like, a shadow falls across the arena, and a dragon lands, like, somewhere, like, a little bit high up, because it can't land in the arena, but, like, lands on a ledge or something like that. And it's Reigen. And Khan. And Khan, like, uses a rope and, like, climbs down from him. And he's shirtless. And he's wearing his own Malmer. And she knows that she shouldn't. But she is so relieved to see him. And they lock eyes. And, like, and he's using Baldur's magic to, like, shake everything. And it's, like, a show of strength. And her last thought is that, like, she's just so happy that he's good at hunting her.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I love it too. And, so, like, It just makes me so happy. I wonder how he found her.
I know.
But I guess that's...
Because, like, he did have a dragon. He might have seen where she fell into the water. Maybe. It's a storm.
But, like my thing is, I definitely do not think that, I don't think it was him and his dragon, like, when she was climbing down the cliff.
Oh, no. No, I think it was the fate dragon.
Yeah, because there's no way I think he would have gotten to her that fast.
Yeah.
So...
Or he would have gotten to her faster right now.
So, I don't know, like, what he's been doing, and, like... I'm hoping that, he just, like, maybe he was planning on coming here all along to ask if, like, they've seen her.
Yeah. And he showed up just in time. Okay, so... Seeing him awakens something she can't see in her frozen lake. Like, all of these, like, remember when she was on top of him and she was like, something's swimming under there?
Yeah,
so, like, I think actually awakens something in it. Like,
yikes.
So it's like, what the fuck is this?
I just thought it was the dragon under there.
Yeah, I don't know.
The something.
I don't know what's going on with this thing. So.
Yeah. It's very confusing. And we're both, like, we don't know what's... We still don't have answers.
We do not. So, she starts to tremble because of it. And also...
Jeez.
She was bitten by a snake.
Yep.
And then everybody there, except for Hawk, smacks their chest 4 times. And Khan does it once. And then he looks at Hawk, and he is pissed. And she feels like she should be frightened because of how he looks, but she isn't. And then he's obviously talking in their language, so she also doesn't know what he's saying. She doesn't know what anyone's saying. But he says something and scratches 4 of his nails across his chest. And then the king speaks to him and seems pissed. And then Hawk is talking too, and he seems pissed. And they're all just going back and forth. And she's just like, what the fuck is going on? Which is so shitty. For her. Like, what a sin.
Yeah. It's, I would hate that. I'd be like, what are they saying?
Right? Like, I'd like to know.
Just tell me.
And then Hawk scratches his chest with 4 fingers and then the other hand and makes like an X there.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what is going on? And they argue, and then Hawk and Khan just like run at each other and start like grappling. I love that you're like talking like you didn't read this part. Did you forget it? Yes. So Seiza and another female pick Raeve up, and Raeve is just slurring, but she's like, what's going on? Because she obviously didn't understand. And Seiza says that Hawk is claiming victory, even though she didn't submit, which is like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to do that. And
I guess he did have her, like, the only way she wouldn't have submitted, she would have had him kill her.
Yes.
And, like, that's, so in his mind, like, I sort of, not that I want him to claim her or anything like that, but,
oh my
like,
god, no.
In terms of the, like, battle, then yeah, he had her right where he wanted her, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she never would have submitted. But I guess if you're unconscious, is that submitting? Like, in fights that we see, like, MMA or whatever fights, like, if you pass out, you're submitting. So I guess eventually he would have had to get her to pass out. And maybe she would have flipped him around and figured it out herself.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, then Seiza's just explaining everything to her. I just went on a tangent about the submit.
Yeah.
Yep. Khan then told Hawk that she isn't free to be claimed because she didn't grow up here. And is telling Hawk that he can claim his win over Zarin, the other guy he killed, and he can get 1 dot on his right ready. But Hawk has decided now that he wants to challenge Khan, because if he wins where Khan is higher up than him, he'll get way more dots on his Reedy. Like, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
Okay. And Raeve is just shocked because she's like, how does he dare challenge the crown? Like, that, this is the king. What the fuck is going on? But Seiza just says the crown means little here. And they pound their chest 4 times to, I guess, welcome who is the greatest of them, I guess, battle-wise. And Raeve is like, okay, so they did that to greet him. Why isn't he... How did you say it? Did you say Oa? Oa? For the...
What?
Like the king that's here, the guy on the throne here. Did you say his name?
You know what? I don't think I said anything. I just said the ruler.
Okay, so
I
I'm going to say
Oa. Try it. I just didn't want to even attempt it.
Because I'm not sure. But Seiza says that he was Oa until his pa died, and then he gave the title to the second greatest. Because I guess he had to take over being king when his dad died. And then, I love Raeve. Raeve just says, while they're occupied with, like, arguing over this, can they just pretend that she's dead and throw her in the river?
Sounds great.
She's like, the fate guy went away, just, like, throw me in the river, no one needs to know.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. And then Seiza is just, like, checking her out, and she's like, where did you get a volley? Who knows how to say that?
A what? Oh,
volley?
Yes.
Serpent bite, so we know that's the snake. And so, obviously, she didn't see it. Probably nobody saw it, and we're like, of course not.
I know, that's actually surprising. I figured everybody would have seen him, like, take a snake out of his pocket and be like, hi-ya!
Right? It's such a weird, like...
What else are they watching?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
But no, everyone was like, do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah. Seiza brings her the antidote, and then while she's drinking it, the soul starts to, quote-unquote, read the will of the creators. So she, like...
What? Interesting.
I think she, like, eats some sand, and then she throws some sand in the air, and then her eyes go white, and I guess...
Oh, yes, the white-eyed lady. I didn't name her either. I just called her the white-eyed lady.
Okay, yeah.
So you're using all the terms that I was like, no!
Yeah, well, who knows? But, so she can, I guess, read the will of the creators. Like, I'm assuming she actually knows. Is she just making shit up? Who knows? I don't. But she says that since blood was spilled in Rave's honor, she can't leave here unclaimed. And if she does, more moons will fall. And then if more moons fall, the Jackal clan will lose their home and many will die. So, like, they're not going to let her leave unless she's claimed.
Ugh.
Of course. So, Khan walks over to her and bows and offers her his Malmer, which is the necklace that we talked about last week, I think, that he wears.
Yeah.
And you were like, the necklace is them.
Yeah. So, like, it's funny because she didn't, I don't think, have a name for it.
No.
But now that she saw that, so, like, Hawk and the other guy, they were like, here's our tokens. And she was like, those are their Melmers. So, like, those are, like, pretty, I'm not going to say sacred, but, like, they're very personal to each person. Like, each guy has a different design. And, like, it is like their personal token. So, like, it has significant meaning to, like, you know, to what the, like, it represents each guy and their, like, clan, I guess, or their family. And so, like, wearing it signifies who you belong to.
Yes. But I don't think she realizes that.
I don't think so either, but it's interesting that now she recognizes that this token is his Melmer. Even though she never had a name for it before, it's interesting now that she's like, oh, so this one is his.
Yeah. Yes, that is very true. And yeah, she's something, that's for sure. Um, so, he offers it to her, and she actually has a vision of it between her breasts while she's riding Khan's face.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, girl.
Love that.
You need to realize something's happening here.
Love that for you.
Yeah. Like, are you just having a fantasy right here? Like, what is happening?
It's fine.
Don't know. So yeah. She is just like, oh god. And she, with that vision and like just her feelings in general, she knows that she wants to accept it, even for just a little while. And I'm like, she really doesn't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on either, but I know this has got to mean something.
Yeah.
So she reaches out and takes it, and she says it feels like a key notches in place. But she thinks this isn't real, it's just survival, which is so sad. And then he stays crouched down, like bowing in front of her, and people start to gasp, and she's like, again, I don't know what's happening. So Seiza tells her that he is asking her to place her print on his ready, to show he respects her above himself and above his honor, and that she is his greater, so that if he dies, his title will pass to her, and then even if Hawk claims her, she'll be able to leave because she will be Hawk's greater. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just... my heart.
I love it.
Why can't we all have a con?
I know. It's like he's really saving her life here, and like even if he dies, she's got an out.
Yeah, and like she really insulted him last night when she was like, "Let's not pretend that this means anything."
Yeah, but I don't
like that
I don't
must
really,
have been hurtful.
I don't really blame her for it.
No, I know, but like it still must have been hurtful.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But he also should have said, "Hey, we have a past."
Yeah, you don't remember it. However,
stupid.
It's there.
So she's shocked. She thinks she doesn't deserve this, and she was right to run because he's too easy to care about, which is just sad because she thinks everyone's gonna die. So she covers her hand in blood, and she marks the moon that's on his back that she loves the most, which is just so cute. And then he stands, and she wants to pull him back, but he looks at her, and he hits his chest 6 times, and then he goes to get a weapon. And Seiza tells her that hitting your chest 4 times is for the greatest, 5 times is for the Owa,
the leader.
Yeah, and 6 is unheard of. So he's just decided...
He's revering her like she is his pretty princess.
Yeah, but a warrior. So
well, no, we both know that it's soulmate. Like,
yeah.
You're my soulmate.
Yes. It's
And he's just relying on the fact that she's clueless.
Really, though, he really needs to have a chat with her. It's not right.
But no, but he likes that she doesn't know what he did the 6 times because he's like, well, she doesn't know what that means anyway. So yeah. I can expel my emotions this way because she don't get it.
Yeah, but it's also, I think, showing everyone there, like, you can't fuck with her or else. So he grabs a knife, and he then, like, tells Raygon to stand down, and Raygon is pissed about it, because, like, obviously, if Hawk starts to kill him, Raygon will not put up with it. But he kind of has a conversation back and forth, and then Raygon, like, starts blowing fire. And everyone kind of crouches to, like, save themselves. But Raeve crouches because she wants to hide her ruined with runes, not ruined, skin.
Yeah.
And Seiza notices and puts a blanket over her. And she says, no wonder she laughed. The unbreakable always do.
Oh, I love that Seiza gets it. Like, yeah. I wish they became best friends.
I know, they could be friends. But Raeve thinks to herself that she's broken too many times to count, and she laughed because physical pain can't break her, which I think is kind of the point. I think Seiza would really get her if they actually had a conversation about it. So then Raegon leaves in basically a tantrum and, like, goes away.
I wonder, like, if they're... So the Dagamork or whatever, or Morg, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I wonder how, like, I wonder how much it affects each other when they die. Like, like, is it a fourth wing thing? Like, that sort of a connection? Or, like, will Raegon just, like, curl up and die? Like, will he go into the sky? Like, is he gonna moon out? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it kind of seems like a bit later that Elluin and her dragon might be something. But I don't know if that's true. We don't know yet. So, of course, the boys start to fight, and the anti-venom is working, but she thinks it's slow, and her head is bleeding, but she stands to watch, and she has to lean on Seiza, and she watches as he gets new scars, and it hurts her to see that, and he's hit in the stomach, and she screams, and you're like, there's something here. And he obviously looks at her as her knees give out. And then Khan grabs Hawk's mace as it hits him and cuts him open even more. And then he cuts Hawk's bicep so that he has to, like, let go of it. And then he holds Hawk's head facing her and cuts his head off while staring her in the eye. And then he just brings it over to her. And she puts on his Malmer. And... then she's just, like, in pain, not doing well. So she kind of, like, falls over and he catches her.
Of course he does.
And she feels his heart to calm herself, like, in his chest. And she sees the Fate Herder leave. And we're like, so this is what the Fate Herder put her here for, so that he would claim her. Whatever that means, that's why she's here. And then he says, Moonbeam, don't scare me like that again. And she says not to waste lovely words on her, but to save them for someone special. And he growls, and she passes out.
Of course he does.
Cien. So then we get a diary entry from Elluin, and she's still 18. So Slatra, her dragon.
She's 18 a lot.
Yes, this is a long
I say
18.
a lot. It is a long 8. A lot of shit happens.
Yes, it does.
For her to be 18. For her to be 18?
Yeah. So Slatra is following her across the Volcanic Plains, and Elluin is begging a blue bead to shelter her with a cloud because she's just burning up. Like, moon plumes can't be in warm places.
Yeah, in the heat.
Yeah. And then her wings end up getting so many holes that she falls to the ground, and then she starts to crawl after her. And she's looking up at Elluin so much that she loses her vision from the sun, which is sad. And then I guess they make it to where they're going, and King Austern lets her stay in the hutch with Slatra as long as it's guarded. But Elluin doesn't have the ability to make a cloud to fly back and shield Slatra, because since she put on the Aether Stone, she's not been able to use her powers or, like, connect with the creators. And she thinks that she's never going to forgive herself for riding Slatra until she trusted her and taking her from her home, which is just so sad.
But I mean, like...
her brother would have died. She would have died. Really, there's no other choices.
No. She was okay with it up until now.
Yeah.
Like... oh, yeah, I'll take you from my home and ride you till you trust me. It's fine. Like, she did that at the age of 8. So she's had her in her possession for 10 years. Yeah. But now is when she... like, wouldn't you regret it all along?
But she feels bad because she's in pain.
Yeah,
that's why she regrets it.
I understand that, but, like, you should feel bad about it even if she wasn't in pain. Like, you still took her from her home.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether she's in pain or not.
She didn't feel bad.
You know, that's just like, I don't know, in my brain, that's just like saying, like, oh, yes, we took those dolphins from the ocean and put them at SeaWorld, but they were happy. It's only bad now that they're sick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's not, I guess, it is similar to that maybe 10 years ago, in that it's just part of the culture and it's the way things are. And now that we've kind of evolved away from keeping animals in small cages, we're like, oh, maybe that was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so
I don't think she's realizing that it's bad because they're taking them away from their homes. I think she's realizing it's bad because she's sad that she's in pain.
Well,
like, it's not the same revelation.
I don't like it.
No, I understand. So now we go to Khan's point of view, and he's shielding Raeve, and he tells Raygun to go faster. And he feels Raygun's adrenaline in his own chest, which must be a weird bond
Dagamork thing.
Dagamork thing. Which is interesting, because I'm like, what else do you guys both feel? Like, what is going on? So they get home, is what Khan calls it. And I'm like, I don't know where that is, but cool. And Raygun brings him to the Imperial stronghold. And Vea comes out to meet him, and he just says shit. And she asks who he has with him, and he thinks that he has his salvation. And also the reason that Vea is going to gut him.
Oh.
But he tells Vea that he loves her, but he can't do this right now. And that he needs Agni. And she threatens him with putting beetles in his bed for the rest of his life, basically. So he lets her see Rave's face. And he looks at it too, and he sees she's super pale and she lost more blood from her head wound. And Vea sees the Malmer and asks how this happened. And Khan tells her that she's wounded. And
yes.
He did stop at a mender's hut on the way, but they could only just stabilize her enough to get her here. So they need to get her to Agni. And Vea says that she just saw her, so they need to run, basically.
Yeah.
And Vea wipes away a tear. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? Clearly she recognizes her too.
Yeah.
So they rush through the stronghold, which is kind of like a city inside of a mountain. And it has many halls, and it used to just be for the royal family. But since he tore his paw's head off, he's filled it up so that it wouldn't just remind him of the ghost of her, but it doesn't actually make him feel any better.
Ugh.
Okay. On the way, they run into Pirok, and he's leaving the hall, and he has a mug of mead, and he's just got multiple piercings, and he's fun and doesn't have a shirt on. And I love him.
Yep.
But he
we meet a lot of people in this.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. But he yells out to everyone in the hall that mealtime's over and everyone needs to leave except for Agni, since her miraculous skills are required. And then he pushes everything off of a table so Khan can lay Raeve down. And Khan tells Agni to work on her first. And then Khan asks Pirok to go get Rowan. Rowan? Sure. To help. But he's actually gone to Bothane to get a look at the book again, because he thinks there's more that hasn't been released to the public. And I'm like, this is a tidbit I do not understand. So, no idea.
Yeah, so I feel like this is probably a piece of the overall, of the overarching story that maybe won't be resolved.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it feels.
Well, and I do kind of wonder if it's the original book that they were talking about.
The book of Aether, maybe?
Yes, that's his name. I forgot his name. So we get that Agni has more than 20 buttons on her Rooney cloak. And she checks Rave's head and says that she's going to need to melt her skull smooth before she can thread her flesh. And I'm like, what? That sounds disgusting. But she says, she says she's lucky she didn't die. And Khan thinks he would have split the world and then himself apart if she did. So Agni asks if this is all her blood, but he says there's some Kolk blood and his blood and another male's blood. And Vea calls him a bastard and like jumps over to him and starts punching him.
Whoa.
and it's just like, okay, what? And then Grim comes over to hold her back. And Vea asks him how could he? Because she just realized that it was a Tuca trial that Raeve went through. And she asks which other male it was. And Khan says Hawk. And she asks, she doesn't say her name, but how did Raeve kill him? And he thinks of Hawk above her and her laughing, mocking her own death. And he says that she didn't kill him. And then Vea looks at his Malmer again on her chest, and she's like, what the fuck? Khan takes the water from that, like, Pirok just comes back with some water, and Khan takes it to, like, clean her up himself, which is like a king cleaning her means something. But Pirok finally gets a good look at her, and he's like, who the fuck is that? And why does she look like Elluin Navan? Because Elluin Navan is dead. And we're like, shock.
Yeah.
Kind of. So Khan kind of has to say, like, she doesn't know that she's Elluin. She's been going by Raeve. And Pirok is like, so did you just bring home a random person because they kind of look like Elluin? But Khan says that any doubt was squashed when she told the High Chancellor of the Fade that he had a microcock. And Pirok's just like, I'll toast to that, and drink some random person's beer off the table. I absolutely love him.
Yeah.
So Vea asks why she goes by her middle name if she doesn't remember anything, which is a good question.
It's a great question.
And then she asks how she's here and what her first memories of this life are. And he just says that when he tried to pry, she compared the size of his cock to his brain in an unfavorable way. So he stopped prying. I'm like, you still could have had a fucking conversation with her, but fine.
Yeah.
So then we kind of get, I guess, more to Agni is trying to heal her. So she gets Pirok to wave a cloth under her nose to keep her from waking up because she's got so much to do. But Khan tells them that he first saw her at the Hungry Hollow and thought that he was going mad. And the next time he saw her, she was rotting in a cell. And he watches Agni put a bonding agent on her skin, and he thinks it's skin he's kissed too many times to count. And we're like, okay, we're getting some more.
We're getting a little bit of information.
Just a little bit. And he also tells them all that there was a truth tune in the dungeons that confirmed that she didn't know him. And Vea asks if he's sure he watched Slatra ... And he just says that he is. And he thinks he lived with the memory for the past 123 phases. But obviously we still don't know what happened. Vea sees the null mark and asks if the creators speak to her. And he tells her that Claude and Boulder do, but he isn't sure about the other two. So clearly, like you thought, she does speak with all four. Or she's able to, even if she doesn't remember right now.
Ha
Vea asks, like, what'll happen if Tyroth finds out that she's here, because he'll come and attack them. And then she asks if Khan is afraid that Raeve will see Tyroth and remember him and leave Khan all over again. And we're just like, Jesus. And he just thinks that it stings because that's what he's wondering too. But he says that she's a dream come true, but that she's not his anymore. And he says that she's more than a plower. She's more than a power play and more than the love of his existence.
Whoa!
I know. And that someone out there needs her more than they do.
What? Who?
And it's not their brother. It's definitely the
niece.
Princess, yeah.
Oh my god, is that her child? Does she have a child?
I don't know. Like, who else would the diadem have gone to?
Holy shit.
Or could it be, like, I'm assuming, because the niece seemed younger than what were 123. So she could have had a daughter who could have had a daughter, maybe?
But, like, if these people can live for, like, 1,000 years.
But like, when she was 1,000 years. She was, like, a real person.
No, I know, but, like, the only way that... Okay, so say if Raeve had a daughter.
Yeah.
And then she, say, Elluin died.
Yeah.
And then she had a daughter. And then, so the diadem went to her daughter.
Yeah.
There's no way that her daughter would have also had a daughter and died in 100 years.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't think that the niece's mother was dead. But I don't know if I just got... But she was wearing I know she was wearing the diadem, but, like...
I think we were confused because we were, like... We didn't understand I feel like maybe we didn't understand what was going on. However, now, I think we understand a bit more.
Yeah, I do wonder if they just found another line of her blood.
But who would it have been? Because it's just her parents, her and Adian and Hadian, and they all died.
I know, but her mother could have had a younger sister.
Maybe.
Like, if she died, like, I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure. So he says that he'll ease her into the truth and let her make her own choices. And Vea is crying now, which is something that she never does. So he just feels like he's failed her as a brother.
Oh my god.
And then Agni uses a tool to open up Rave's skull. And he's like, I need to go. I can't watch this.
My god.
And as he's walking out, Vea is just saying, no one can suffer what she did and not be pitted with a well of dragon flame. And even if she doesn't remember, he should be careful or she'll turn to ash in his hands. Like, okay.
She's real scared of dragon flame, so, like, makes sense.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, so this whole theory, I'm sorry, of, like, him saying, oh, maybe she'll leave me all over again. So do we think that they had, like, a passionate love affair?
Yes.
And then when she turned 21, she went back and married the guy?
Well...
And potentially had a life with him?
Yeah, it sounds like she only left him a note about it, and it seems like she left him to go back. And, like, I'm assuming she did it for her kingdom, because she didn't want to leave it in his hands. And I'm assuming she died almost immediately. Like, I can't imagine, like...
Well, but if she had a daughter...
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, not immediately, but, like, pretty fast. But like, is it his daughter, I wonder? Is it actually Tyroth's, or whatever his name is, daughter?
But I can't imagine that Khan would be okay leaving the niece in Tyroth's hands, knowing that he's probably a piece of shit. Because he did say that he would want to tear his brother limb from limb. Like, he mentioned that when he met up with the niece.
Yeah.
So, like, if it was his daughter, would he not be like, I need to go and get her because this is not right?
But maybe he doesn't know it's his daughter.
Oh, you think... Oh.
She was just pregnant, and then she was like, shit, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And, like, neither of them knows who the real dad is.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's like Jerry Springer.
Really, though. Also, no idea. Just making assumptions here.
Yeah, we really don't know. Wouldn't it be awesome if we were right?
Yeah. Well, that'll be like the end of book 2 or 3 or something. They'll figure out that it's their child together. I don't know, actually. There's definitely so much stuff going to happen in this. So yeah. He just thinks that he knows that she could burn him, basically. So Khan and Grimm go to leave, and he just thinks like he hasn't slept since he woke up under Raeve, who looked at him with death in her eyes before something else clicked that made him think that her memories are still in there, which is interesting. And he also flew for 3 days, like full days, on Raigun after she was injured. I'm like, you need to sleep. You can't do anything else. But he has so much pent-up energy, and he just wants blood on his hands.
Yeah, so sounds right.
Yep. He's, like, lighting torches as he goes, and he thinks of, like, Ignis's power and how it wants to burn more and more. And they get into the arena, and he tells Grimm he's not in the mood to hold back. And then Grimm says that he isn't either, which is a shock because Grimm rarely speaks, which is interesting. And they just attack each other, and it literally says rage to fucking rage. And I'm like, is Grimm just pissed because, like, she's back and she hurt his friend?
I don't think so, because I've read ahead and, like, started my notes for next week. And
yeah.
There's a little bit of something going on with Grimm. Like, he's got his own little side hustle.
Yeah, and it seems like it a bit later this week, too, when she sees him for the first time.
Yeah. Now, I will say that, like, I think Khan needs sleep. Like, It's like, I don't want to go to sleep. I'm just gonna, like, fight until I can't fight no more.
100%. It's pretty stupid.
It is pretty stupid.
So, now we get a brand new point of view. Which is interesting for, I guess, just over halfway through a book.
Here's my question.
Answer. Daily Double.
Apart from Khan's point of view with his niece.
Yeah.
Do we have his point of view so far besides, like, him getting back to the castle?
And then the one that him getting back and then her. I don't think so, because I think we talked about that last week, how we were, like, very stuck on not having much of his point of view. Because,
like, it's just funny. So, in doing my notes, obviously, we type, like, okay, there's been a POV change. It's this person's point of view now. And I don't remember doing that in the notes at all up to this point. Apart from that one little, like, snippet with Khan and his niece. But next week, I feel like I'm switching POVs all the time.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think so whenever the diaries came up, I would mark that,
yes.
Obviously. That's different.
I'm considering that, the diary's different.
Was it last week? No, it was the first week. The end of the first week, we got the other point of view. And yeah, I don't think we had any Khan point of view until then. I think they don't really give us the point of view until like this one specifically. We're getting Vea's point of view. And I think it's only because, like, she's deciding to do something and we need that for the story. So I kind of think it's going to be kind of like Throne of Glassy. I said kind of way too much just then. But I feel like it's going to be Throne of Glassy, where it's like, next book is going to be a million different points of view.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because I can't imagine the arc that Vea's going on. Although, I'm of two minds. I'm like, how can we have the diary entries if they're not available to the people in the book? Or are we not going to finish the diary entries in this book? Are we going to be left on a cliffhanger of diary entries, not know everything, and have to wait till the next book to get the rest of the diary entries?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I kind of assumed that we'd get them all this book based on nothing. So I feel like Vea should be back. I know we're not supposed to know what she's doing. Anyway, that's not the point. So we're in Vea's point of view. New point of view, new character. And she and Agni are bringing Elluin to a guest room. And Vea tells Agni that she did well because there isn't even a mark from the head injury, which she literally had to clamp her head open, but she completely healed it. But Agni's being a bit, like, weird, and she's like, what's up? And Agni tells her that she didn't want to bring something up in front of the males because they all seemed on edge. And Vea's like, well, in that moment, I punched the king in the face and the chest. So I don't know why you think you can bring it up to me. But she doesn't say that. She's just like, okay. But Agni tells her that she has dragon sight, which we've heard of a few times. And that with her dragon sight, she could see the layered stains of many, many runes on Elluin / Raeve.
Can I just... I skipped over it, like, in reading it. But now that you're bringing it up, is there something, like, inherently a little bit, like, is it the placement of the runes? Like, I know that she's got runes everywhere, but, like, just her being like, oh, I didn't want to bring it up in front of the guys, like... Is she insinuating something nefarious?
Well, I assume at one point, I think Raeve said that she was remade multiple times. Like, I assume that, well, two things. One of them is, I was going to say, I kind of assumed that she was tortured with fire.
Yeah.
And then brought back multiple times.
Yeah.
But now that I'm saying that, I wonder if that was, like, after she was presumed dead, then it was used to make her forget who she was. By, like, over and over and over and over and over. Like, so many times that she just, all she knew was fire. And then she lost everything. So I don't know. I'm assuming we have to get answers to this in this book.
I know. I just find it weird that she was like, oh, I didn't want to tell the men. And it sort of led me down a path of, is it something like sort of sensitive and like womanly sensitive?
Oh.
Is what I...
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just assumed it was just like so many times that the men would have lost their shit because they were like already kind of losing it.
Okay.
Because it was the same when that healer that healed her.
Yes, in
her back.
In the dungeon, and she said, just shook her head not to say anything.
Yeah, and like she started crying because of how bad it is. So like it's must be really bad. I think it's just trying to show the reader that it's very bad.
Okay.
But I guess we'll get there. But Vea asks if they're recent, but Agni says it's kind of too hard to tell, but that Elluin does have one wound that glows a silver that she's never seen, and it wasn't mended by runes, and it's over her heart. And that it was actually a killing wound, and normally healers can't heal that kind of wound because the person dies before there's enough time to heal it. So
it was her dragon
that stabbed her in the heart?
No, that healed it.
Oh.
Because it's silver, and it wasn't healed with a rune.
Yes,
and it was
that makes
glowing silver like her dragon glows silver.
Thank you. Yes. That makes sense.
Just thought of it.
I know. I thought you were saying that her dragon stabbed her, and I was like, interesting theory. I need more.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I would buy that. So yeah, we're getting, I guess, that she should have died, which we kind of already knew because everyone thought she was dead. She obviously took a diadem off her head that she's not supposed to be able to unless she is dead.
Well, I think then she definitely died.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess, yeah, it's a possibility that her dragon, like, brought her back.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So yeah, Vea asks Agni not to tell the king until they know more. And Agni's kind of like worried about it, but then she looks at the door and Vea looks up and Pyrock is walking away. And she's like, fuck. So she follows after him and he actually only heard her say, don't tell the king. He didn't hear the rest. Right. Which is good and bad. Like, I want him to know because I want the, like, who did this to you moment. And it's going to be like, your brother. Like, I want him to realize. But also, I get I get delaying it too. Fine.
I also, like, sort of, I'm gonna hate the moment when she actually remembers everything, because I worry that she's gonna make the same choice and leave him again.
Well, yeah, but I feel like she's gonna make the same choice for the same reasons, but Vea's gonna have her journal and know why she made the choices.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna come back and be like, Con, don't lose hope. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But so I guess Hirok asks what she's talking about, and she says that Khan isn't asking enough questions, and he's just like, well, what do you know? And she thinks to herself, Elluin was stabbed, which is not what they were told about how she died. So this part is super cryptic in, like, Khan's point of view and her point of view of, like, they know things, but they're not telling us. And I'm like, well, how do you think she died? Why can't we know that? But we can't. And he asks if what she knows will lead to war with their fledgling army, and she just shrugs. And he says that she's hungry for war. And she asks what they've been working for, if not to swipe all the filth from the board and undo all of Pa's hard, bloody work. And then she shows him her back, like just pulls up her shirt and shows him her back, where she has fire lash, which I'm assuming is just like fire.
Dragon fire on the end of a whip.
Yeah. But she has fire lash marks and says that she didn't keep these scars, I guess, for their looks, but she kept them to remind herself that Tyroth and Kadok need to rot. And she thinks to herself, to kind of give us an idea of why she has them, that she actually won her own Tuca trial. So I guess she did the same thing as Raeve and decided to fight for herself. But after she won, she was then, I guess, lashed, she said scored, 78 times by her blood for soiling the family name.
Yikes.
How do you, it can't have all been at once, being whipped by dragon fire at 78 times. Doesn't seem reasonable.
Unless they have, like, fey healing the way, like, that we would expect.
That's true. Well, they live ages, so maybe. And then she says that she didn't get to rip off Pa's head, so she'll rip off theirs. And he asks if she wants him to fry their cocks. And she says maybe. She'll let him know. And then she tells him to deal scrimpy cards for them to play. And the game is interesting. I don't really understand it. There's so much going on. There's, like, hard parchment shards that they play with. There's an 8-sided dice, a mug. They put more cards around. There are dragons, but there's also all of the other animals and sentient beings. There's so much on the go.
Too complicated for my blood.
Yeah. But she thinks that the game loves her, and I guess based on her hand, and she says that she wants to play for favors because she has enough gold. So they play, and they kind of, like, tease each other. And he asks if Grimm has seen her scars. And I'm like, are we going to get a love there? Like, this Grimm guy and her? Like, there's got to be something there. Because she says, of course not. He hasn't seen them. And then he asks what she doesn't want the king to know. And she says that she's not telling. And if he threatens Agni, she'll kill him in his sleep. And he's just like, yep, I believe you. And then she says that Elluin used to keep a diary. And one time she found it in her room here. And it's the same room that she's in right now. And I'm like, that's interesting. But she thinks that it might actually be back in Erythia. And he's like, that was over 100 phases ago. It's likely dust by now. But she says that it's cold there. So it makes us think that she did go back home. Because she was from Erythia. That's her kingdom.
Yeah.
So, like, there's got to be a reason. We just don't know it. And then he asks if she can go there without killing Tyroth. And she says that she's not irresponsible. And then they kind of do a thing where he plays a card and he can pick one of her cards, but she did it on purpose to mix him up by putting her cards backwards, and it's like kind of a cute trick. But she ends up winning. And she says that she'll use her favor from him later. And he says he's never playing against her again. Mm. And then he starts playing with fire in his hand, so I guess we're getting, like, just as a sign that he also...
has fire.
Ignos? Yeah. So, she kind of thinks, because she looks up and her pa's saber scythe is on the ceiling, and she kind of thinks of how shitty he was as a father, and like, he obviously orchestrated the lashings, he called her a whore, he said that her ma would be devastated to know what she turned out like, but she liked to think that her ma would be good with it because she never met her, so we assume she died in childbirth. I think they might even say it.
They definitely do in the future. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But she said she never met her, so kind of took it. So Vea then says that she's going to go to the Shade. And she asks if Pyrock wants to come. And then he's just like, no. And then she threatens him with the favor. But he's like, you wouldn't do that. And she's like, I wouldn't. And then he asks if she's going to wait until Elluin wakes up to talk to her, and she's just not sure. Because she's afraid that she might rip into her like she did with Khan, because what she did was unforgivable. And maybe the diary will shed light on the dark hole she punched in her chest when she left without a word to her, and a single pathetic note to the male she supposedly loved. So we're getting that she just left and just gave Khan a letter, which was mean.
I hope she didn't, like, there's so much pointing to her, like, going back to Tyroth and, like, getting married and having a baby with it, or, like, whether with him or from Khan, but I really hope she did not.
Yeah. So now we go back to Elluin's diary when she's 18, and she's with Slantra when a giant saber scythe and a beautiful male come into the hutch. And they stop and stare at each other, and her and the male are just like eyes to each other. And then Slantra growls at the saber scythe, whose spot Elluin thinks that they're likely in. And Elluin doesn't bother with her veil because he's seen her face by now and the Atherstone, so she's just like, fuck it. And he coaxes his dragon away, but he comes back alone after. And he asks what happened to Slantra's eyes. And she thinks his voice is hoarse and he has so many scars on his arms that she thinks he must scream more than he speaks. Which is awful. And he just asks if she's eaten in a while, and then he asks if she's living here, and she just doesn't answer him because she's too tired. She thinks she's tired of losing things she loves. She's tired of trying to rip off the diadem so that she can wield her power to get Slantra and herself home, to take the throne back from the asshole who believes he can tell her what to do. And she's just really tired. So we go to Rave's point of view. And she's kind of waking up, I guess, but there's a word on her tongue and an ache in her heart, and she's reaching for something that is yanked away. I'm like, is it a memory of, like, being in bed with somebody? Like, is she, like, I don't know. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to symbolize. Just her past life. I don't know. But she wakes up, and she's, like, clawing at herself in terror. And she sees the room, and she thinks it's kind of familiar. And she tries to remember how she got here, and it starts to come back in pieces. And then she sees the Malmar, and she's like, oh shit, that actually happened. But at least she's, like, dressed and cleaned, which makes her think that she won't be on her back growing a mythical offspring that's supposed to stop the moonfalls. So better than if she had have ended up with Hawk. She does still have her shackle on, though. I think there's still one on her arm and, like, at least her arm. So she gets up and she looks in a mirror, And she realizes that she's like been cleaned, her hair is brushed, her scar is gone, and she thinks that Khan must have got a Rooney to heal her. And then she's looking in the mirror and she just has like a vision again of moving the mirror to the side and just like putting a book in there. So she slides the mirror and there's an empty hole behind it where a book could be. And we're like, that's the journal that
is not there anymore.
Yeah, that Vea was talking about. I was just going to call her Eva. Just move some letters around. And then, lo and behold, the door opens and a fiercely beautiful woman comes in. And Raeve asks who she is, and she says that she's Khan's asshole sister that she doesn't want to get on the wrong side of. So it's Vea. But obviously, Raeve doesn't know that yet. Which this happens a few times, this chapter. But Vea's eating a sweet fruit that makes Rave's stomach growl, and she wants the fruit and the knife that she's using to cut it up with. She's kind of jealous of both. And Raeve just says, "You don't like me." And she moves towards a candlestick that she could use as a weapon. And then she says, like, "You don't even know me." And she says that that's debatable. And then she says that the Malmar actually means something. And, like, she shouldn't just take it and wear it with her outfits. Like, that's not what it's for. It means something. And Raeve is just like, well, where is he? And she says he's getting threaded after saving her life from being on her back, tits out, with her belly full of some brute's bait.
Yikes.
It's probably true, but wow.
Yeah, she doesn't pull any... she doesn't, like, withhold any punches.
No, which I like in a character, but I don't know. I don't need them to hate each other. I get it's probably going to end at some point because they'll figure out what's going on, but still.
Yeah, especially with, like... I know we don't really know yet, so we obviously need to keep reading, but, like, if she left to, like, save her people, I don't think you should fault her for that.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's what she's doing, is she's laying fault at her feet for, like, oh, she didn't even say goodbye, she just left a note. It's like, you don't know what her reasons were, you don't really know what she had to deal with to make that choice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it seems a bit too aggressive. But then she says, "Let me guess, he took you to a quaint house, cooked you a delicious meal, and looked at you like he loved you more than life itself. And you ran, fell down a waterfall, and were stripped in a skull full of half-naked warriors." And Raeve is just like, how do you know that? And she says that she's magnificent and loyal, but she's intolerable when you get on her bad side, and she's yet to decide which side Raeve is on.
Yikes.
Right? And Raeve is just like, you don't know how much that doesn't bother me. Because she doesn't give a fuck about what other people think. And she says if you're done with this, with pissing circles, that she can show her the exit. And then she says that Khan was... Vea says, but obviously Raeve doesn't know it's Vea, says that Khan was raised to think that he's not good enough, so in his mind, he doesn't deserve the honor of Raeve wearing his Malmar. And, of course, Raeve at this point is kind of, I think, naive, but she thinks that this girl doesn't get it. They were desperate, and he's gonna get it back soon. And I'm like, that's clearly he claimed you. You can't just give a claiming back. Yeah. I know.
She thought it was only for the fight, but, like, obviously it isn't.
Yeah. That's what she's trying to tell you. It means so much more. She's going about it the fucking wrong way. But that's what she's trying to say. Yeah. So, yeah. She's just like, he'll get it back soon. It'll be fine. And then she says, break him again and I break you. And then she leaves. And Raeve is like, what do you mean again? because obviously that's a super wild thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then a word starts coming up her throat, and she says Vea. And then Vea stops. And Raeve feels a wound inside of her, and she looks inside of herself, and her lake has dropped a foot, and she can, like, see the stones underneath and stuff. And I'm like, so she's remembering things, I guess? I don't know. We'll understand at some point. Anyone who's read the full book and listening to us, I'm sorry. We don't know what's going on. But Vea stops and asks what Raeve called her, and Raeve tells her to go away because her head is hurting, and she thinks, like, she needs food and water, and she's clearly mixing her up with someone else. But Vea says that she is Vea, and then she says, do you remember me? And Raeve says that she's never seen her before, and then slams the door in her face, and tells her that they can chat again when Vea learns to share.
Wow.
And Vea kicks at the door, and she says that she's going to work this out. So Raeve just, like, leaves the door closed, but she goes over to the balcony, and she looks outside, and she sees the town, and it's, like, a small town nestled by the mountain. And then there's, like, a western peak in the distance, but it's, like, obscured by heat waves. But she is drawn to it for some reason, and she doesn't know why. But she does recognize that she is now in the city called Dome.
We made it.
We did. I'm sure I could look at a map and figure something out, but...
Is there a map in the book?
I think so.
At the beginning?
I think.
Yes, you're right.
There has to be.
You're right.
It's a fantasy book. I don't think you can have a fantasy book without a map. I just don't really look at them. Oh my god, there's so many things before it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
So on the map,
Mm-hmm.
is there a different map on the back? No. There's only 2 planes, right? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
There's 3. There's the burn, the fade, and the shade. Never mind.
Oh yeah, it's at the bottom.
But I do appreciate how it's so, like, if the Earth is round now, apparently their Earth doesn't spin.
Yeah.
But, like, it's literally the burn at the top closest to the sun, fade in the middle, and then the shade in the opposite direction. So I understand now why it takes them a million years to get places.
Yes, that does make sense. Interesting. And yeah, they were just talking about going over the Baltanic Plains. We assumed to the fade.
Mm-hmm.
Or Elluin was. Yeah. So Raeve finds some boots and a robe that she just immediately loves. And I'm like, yeah, because they used to be yours. You love them so much because you picked them out yourself. Which is, sad. And she gets dressed and she goes to the card room that we were in before with Pyrock and Vea. But she goes to... When she goes in, there's 2 large males at the table, and we immediately can tell that it's Grimm and Pyrock, based on their description, but obviously she has no idea who they are. And they're playing, and she starts to eat their snacks, and she takes a bowl of, like, Coke fat bites, and I was like, scrunchions.
Yeah.
But it's Coke. And Pyrock sees that she still has her candlestick and asks if she wants a bag. And she's like, yes, please. And he gives one to her. And she just asks if they need her to kill anyone in exchange. And they just shake their head no. And she says if they change their mind, she's trying to get out of conscription work. But their king saved her a few times. So she's happy to offer them a one-time favor.
How nice of her.
Which is just funny. And then she asks where the door is. And she notices that, like, the one that hasn't spoke of the 2, so we know is Grimm, but she doesn't, looks very pale and sick. So she's like, I need to leave before I catch whatever he has.
Vampirism.
We're like... Yeah. But we're like, there's clearly something going on with him and her. Like, like there's something, not, I don't mean sexual, but like there's something else between them that is happening. But she's literally like, I don't want to catch what he has because I need to go kill Rek Zeros. We're like, of course you fucking do. But then Pyrock tells her how to get out. And she's just like, nice chatting with you. And she turns to go, and she's feeling optimistic because this is better than every other time she's woken up in this book. So 2 guards open the front door for her, and then they close it, and there are 2 more guards outside. So she asks one to hold her empty bowl that she took of the Kolk fat. And he sees the Malmer, and then he just like hands her his sword so that he can take the dish from her. And she swings it, and she thinks of how she can't find a blade that feels right. And I'm like, obviously we're going to get a blade that feels right at some point. This is... but she says it's too heavy and then asks him for his dagger. So he trades his sword back and gives her his dagger. And she's just like, thanks. And she straps it to her leg. And then she asks them questions. She asks if they feed folk to dragons in a coliseum. And like the guards just shake their heads. And then she asks what happens to young elementals. And they say they attend Drakh Academy. And then she asks about the Nulls. And they say they see if they have an affinity for runes. And if they don't, they can get apprenticeships. And she's like, interesting. That's not at all what she's heard of this place.
Correct.
So Pyrock comes out then and asks if she's harassing the guards. And then he's like, oh, wow, you got a weapon already. That's impressive. And he says he's coming with her to go sell the candlestick because she'll get more for it with him with her because she looks like a tourist. And then he says, unless he's slept with their sons or daughters, in which case they won't actually bargain with her if he's there, which is kind of funny. So he's our bi representation.
Amazing. Gotta have one.
It's true. So she thinks she's not sure she's as free as she thought she was if he's like coming with her now. And she asks about his game, but he says that Grim was kicking his ass and he's lethal when he's in a shitty mood and the brandy ran out. So we get confirmation that it was Grim. Mm-hmm. And then he introduces himself as Pyrock. And she says that she's Raeve, but he probably already knows that. And then he sticks one finger out to her. And she just looks at it, and then she kind of mimics it, and they touch fingers. And I was like, is that actually what she was supposed to do, or did she just do something really stupid?
E.T. phone home.
Yeah, so, don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. But he says, there you go. And then she asks if they have a Curly Quill, which is the place she went to the first week that her friend works at, whose name I forget. And he says that they do. And he asks if she needs a quill. And she says yes. But she thinks she wants a really pointy one to slit through Rek's important bits slowly and painfully. So she's
having
all about that revenge.
She's having fantasies about it now.
Yeah. And then she says that she needs a drink afterwards and a good view. And he's like, yeah, a drink is a good plan. And he's like, what kind of view do you want? And she says the best he can find. And she thinks that if she has a broad enough view of the city, she can find the Carter Hutch, and she won't have to force someone to tell her where it is. And then she'll be able to leave with her bag full of weapons, and she's also going to get a bag of those fruit that Vea was eating, because she was super jealous of them.
Amazing.
Which is fun. So yeah, that's our book for this week.
The ending sort of tapered off a bit after she got hurt.
Yes. Yeah, there was a lot on the go, but it did really taper off once. But we found out who she was. Unless she's not somehow, but she has to be.
How did they all know?
Yeah. That's the thing, if you don't look different after 130 something years, like, you can never hide from people.
Exactly.
I don't like it. So yeah, I guess that's it for this week. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, please reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread and coffee.coread on TikTok.
So, next week we will be reading chapters 51 to 73. It's going to be a beast, so make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next page.